starting the meeting with the petition 960, 49 Carver Street. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. For the record, Eric Dias, registered professional engineer with Strong Point Engineering Solutions, here tonight representing Joseph M. Pajerski for the petition at 49 Carver Street. You'll remember we were before this board a few months ago. We started our kind of permitting tour here, a little bit in error, not realizing that we had to go to the planning board first to secure site plan review. We were before you for two special permits at the time. The first was to allow a welding component in the use of this main building here. And the second is for the pole barn, because the pole barn exceeds 884 square feet. We have since been to the planning board. We had 2 or 3 meetings with them. We've secured site plan approval, so we do have that. And through that process, we've made a few changes to the plan. So I figured I'd walk through those tonight just to show you guys where we've been and what we've come to. First, you'll notice the building itself grew lengthwise by 1 bay, which is 25 feet. One of the things we determined through this process is that given the size of the building, it would have to be sprinkled. And what we found is that the room for mechanicals would take away from valuable space that we need, whereas these are prefab buildings, they kind of come in 25-foot bay sections, so we just added a bay on. We held our front yard setback here and pushed the building back this way. So what that actually effectively does is it takes this open air covered space where we were a little bit concerned about working outside and some noise and things like that, pushes it further back into the site, away from the abutters across Carver Street, which I think is a bonus. The other thing that you'll notice with regard to layout is that the driveway has this gooseneck in it now. Originally, the driveway came straight out, but when we staked it in the field, what we found is that the exit from our driveway was pointed right at these folks' front door.
Right. And I know they were concerned.
And they were concerned about that, yeah. So what we did is we kicked it over to this looks like the south. So that now, at least when we come out of, when the lights are facing out of here, it points right at their driveway. So it's not at their front door. We actually even looked at bringing this entrance over here, but we found that now we were pointing lights at these people's front door. So we traded one problem for another, and our traffic flows through the site just didn't work. We couldn't get trucks through there and all of that stuff. So that was no good. With the pole barn we pulled it forward 25 feet. That's a little bit insignificant, but bears mentioning. The other thing that you'll find is with regard to stormwater management, we've made kind of leaps and bounds in regard to what we were proposing initially for stormwater management. We went out to the site, we did test pits all over the place. We found great soils out here, good depth of groundwater, sandy material, great acceptance. We originally had a detention basin here and another detention basin down here. We were able to eliminate this one altogether. And the way we did that is we're now proposing some infiltration chambers up closer to the building. So all the stormwater that falls on the roof of the building and in the paved parking area around the building is going to be collected in storm septic catch basins, and it's going to be put into the infiltration systems up top, which, as you know, with stormwater, the idea is always decentralized, right? Spread it out, get it out of the way. This design was reviewed by Amory engineers on behalf of the planning board, and they signed off with ease. Aside from that, let's see, what else is in our revision letter? We did the test pits, we did the building, we've added a wooden guardrail to the back here at the behest of the planning board. We've added some tight tanks to the, for the floor drains of the buildings out here, really just kind of minor details, nothing that impacts our concept. One thing that I'd also like to bring to your attention, our initial building permit denial letter from the building department stated the 2 special permits that we needed, that we talked about, one for the pole barn exceeding 884, the other one for the welding component. On February 17th, just after we wrapped up the site plan review with the planning board, we got another letter from the building inspector's office that I believe was actually directed to the planning board. And it says that we need a 3rd special permit. And that special permit, and I'm going to read it, is for the accessory pole barn. We'll need a special permit from the Zoning Board of Appeals as the proposed structure exceeds 20% of the floor area of the livable ground floor area of the principal building, i.e. the residence. So under your definition of accessory buildings, it says accessory buildings can either be on the lot or on the adjacent lot. He's considering this to be an accessory building on the adjacent lot, and because it's bigger than 20% of the residence, he feels that we need another special permit on top of that. So that's something that we want to call to your attention, get it into the record. So hopefully if this board votes to issue special permits, that one gets included. So that would be.
I think that would have to be applied for, but my thoughts, it's not an accessory building either. But I think you need a special permit on the 20% of living area plus over 300 square feet. I just call it a garage, which is 884.
But the building, how big is the building? 2,000 square feet?
2,000 covered with a lean-to on either
Yeah, an
side.
accessory building, I consider a shed.
Right.
That's not a shed.
It's not a shed.
So,
So he needs a third permit.
according to the building inspector, but
So he
my
would
opinion,
have
it wouldn't
to,
fall under accessory building,
he would have to apply, you would have to apply for the reapply.
because
And I'll be honest, and I appreciate the comment, but obviously one thing we're trying to avoid is reapplying and coming back to another meeting. We were hoping that this, no, we love you guys. We're glad to come back and hang out with you. But these folks need to get moving here. The cost of steel is going up by the day. And unfortunately, and maybe not fairly to the applicant, is that this wasn't a special permit that was identified in the initial denial letter, which would have been the ideal situation. So we could have applied for everything all at once.
What do you think, Dan?
I'm reading the definition of an accessory building now. Give me a couple of minutes.
All right.
see, in the denial letter though, he's calling it a pole barn.
A pole barn.
It's not an accessory building, so, but it's a pole barn, it's not an accessory building.
Why is he calling it an
I
accessory?
don't know, that kind of confused me. I wouldn't consider it an accessory building now.
It's over 800 square feet. It's 2,000 square feet.
But you're gonna have electricity,
Yes.
Right.
possibly heat.
You're gonna
It's
have
not-
utility in there, like bathrooms and,
No,
not in that one,
no.
but you're gonna have,
And that's a commercial building, yes.
Yeah.
By accessory building.
not in the accessory building, you're not gonna have, just for storage.
It's gonna be probably a wood stove and that's it. And
But you're gonna store all your metals and stuff like that, so you can use on the other side?
very rarely, it's mostly for my personal stuff.
Mr. Majerski has a collection of toys that is mostly going to be stored out here. We have a carrying bag of bolts over here that's for this and put it in that building. It's possible, but that's not its primary use.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
The accessory building definition is very vague.
Right.
And I think in Mr., and I don't want to get his name wrong, I think Mr. Ferry's defense, I think he was just trying to be thorough and make sure that these folks are covered.
Right.
But I certainly see your point too. I don't know that this necessarily qualifies as accessory. And we certainly would love to wrap this up tonight.
What is the definition of an accessory building? Can you read it for us?
Yeah, just give me 1 second. I gotta get back to the A's. A building customarily incidental to and located on the same lot with the principal building or on an adjoining lot under the same ownership, which does not have a floor area that is greater than 25% of the floor area of the livable ground floor area of the principal building. That says a lot of nothing.
We're not lawyers here. The circle gets larger. Is every garage an accessory building?
Yes, it does. I think accessory building has to do with a different use than, let's say, the residential building. I see the point where I think the zoning, the building inspector is correct.
So again, any garage would need a special permit under accessory building then, because you're over 300 square feet. right?
Well, no, I think garages, there are specific square footages on garages in the code, aren't there?
Yes, on a garage and barn, there's 884 square feet. An accessory building is 300 square feet. So if you're gonna classify a garage or barn as an accessory building, you need a special permit for anything over 300 square feet.
But this is requested because it's over 884, so it's conflicting.
This is greater than 884.
But that's what I'm saying, that's what the special permit request originally was, is it was over 884.
Right.
not
Well, let
over-
me,
Now, the building inspector's calling accessory building, which now you need one for the.
Over 300.
The one that we have supersedes the one he's mentioned.
But we ran into this with a multi-family development too, thinking another section was more specific. We used that, but now it kind of got us into trouble.
Well, let's think it down the line a minute. So what we want to avoid is a situation when we apply for a building permit and get denied. Right? So if the building inspector is saying that we need this special permit, with that reason, and this board decides that we don't need this special permit, is that reason for us to be denied a building permit in the future?
If the building inspector was here tonight, we could ask him, but he's not. But if he's saying you need it, I believe you need to reapply because now you're asking for something else.
Well, that was going to be my next question is, do we need to reapply? And at the very least, is this board able to vote on the 2 special permit requests that we've given them so far? Because what that would do, at least the one for the building here,
You'll be able to get going and.
we'll be able to get going on the building and we can table the pole barns for a month until the next meeting if we needed to.
So you're saying just approve half of your petition.
If that's what we determine we need,
Can we approve just,
can you approve just one and not have a pole barn?
Alana, can we approve just one special permit? And but you have to either approve or deny the other.
Can we continue? The other.
You have to continue the petition.
Well, we did submit 2 separate applications. One for the pole barn, and I believe a separate application for the welding use. I believe we submitted them as separate applications.
We only have one application, right?
Eric,
One whole application.
can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you,
We
Alana.
can't hear you.
Oh, okay. You can't hear me at all?
They're both in one notice of public hearing. So the application for a special permit to construct a pole barn over 884 square feet and a special permit for welding in a business zone to be located in the proposed commercial building.
So it's one it's one notice at least.
Could we try to approve both of them and then
Come back to the third one.
Tuesday will come back for the other one? To,
Because we can't pull a building permit on the barn until we have that 3rd special permit anyway. So I believe this board could approve what's before them tonight, knowing that it's on us to come back for the 3rd one anyway.
You'll have to get the 4 votes in favor of it.
That's the other thing, there's only 4 here tonight.
So unanimous vote.
There's 4 voting members tonight. You'll have to get all 4 in favor. If you get 1, then
You can't do that.
you can't reapply.
And is there and there's no mechanism back to the ZBA through the planning board? Some towns have a mechanism where if the ZBA denies you, you can petition the planning board to send you back. Halifax doesn't have that.
I thought you can, so.
Okay.
If we deny, I think they more from the planning board.
But oftentimes you do need to show a substantial change if that's the
A
case.
substantial change.
But that's not a denial, a substantial change.
Right.
It's different than denial.
Is a different than a denial. So if I'm understanding right, let me just summarize. So my side of the table's understanding. We feel that because the building inspector did identify if we need that 3rd special permit, we feel that it needs to be advertised And if we do try to call a vote on what's before us tonight, we're rolling the dice because we have to have a unanimous yes from all 4 members.
Right.
Now, if the next meeting would be a month from now, which would bring us back here, do we know that?
Now, you're not to interrupt you, but you're going to do the perk tests.
We're doing a perk test tomorrow.
You're doing the perk test tomorrow. In my opinion, it would be in your favor if you wait until next month, so we can clarify it with the building inspector to see what he wants, why he wants a third permit, a third special permit, so we can vote on it and not put you, 30 days is 30 days. I understand with the things that are going on in this world, but 30 days will be in your favor, not right now. If we vote on it and one person says no, it's dead in the water.
I mean, do we have a discussion just of how people are feeling?
Dan, how do you feel about it?
Whatever the pleasure of what you guys want to do is fine with me. I definitely think I've been reading and trying to look things up as we've been talking. I mean, if it's not an accessory building, what is it? It isn't. I think it is an accessory building. And there's a separate section in our zoning bylaws for garages. So garages are treated differently. But the primary building, either on the residential lot, is the house, and on the business zone, if you want to call it that, the business lot is the big building. So it is an accessory building. What would you call it?
Would you be in favor of voting for the other 2 permits, then have them reapply for the accessory building? Dan?
Well, I just don't want to get, if we decide that it's not and we pass it, then we could be at odds with the zoning enforcement officer. I think we need to either accept the fact that it is and they need a special permit, or go forward because we think that it's not. I mean, I think if we go forward and not do what you say and clarify it, that it's just going to lead to problems.
So it sounds like we don't have 4 unanimous votes.
Well, I think we're all in agreement that we should continue it, to make clarification from the building inspector with.
We can get this clarification. You know.
Can I ask the board then, if we're going to continue, and it sounds like that's the avenue that we're being pushed forward, what we'd hate to do is come back next month and find out there's something else that maybe we missed or anything. Is there anything else that the board feels that we need to address? Is there any outstanding questions, anything like that?
Jamie, do you have a question?
I don't have any questions. I wish that we knew that there was a third permit being requested prior to
we
this
didn't
meeting.
know until
Tonight. And unfortunately, by the time we got the memo, I did coordinate with Arlana in your office. It was too late at that point to do the paperwork to get that special permit request on tonight's meeting. So we got it after the deadline for the meeting, unfortunately.
And like I said, in my opinion,
Alana, are you there?
Can you guys hear me now?
So if they have to reapply, what are they, 2 weeks notice?
So just to answer your question from before, they only had 1 application, but in that 1 application, they were asking for 2 special permits, which was advertised. After the planning board, I believe it was after they approved the site plan. I could be wrong. It might have been the actual day of. The building inspector issued that memo asking for the additional special permit. I have spoken with the building inspector today and the other day. He said it's completely up to the board to make the decision if they want to stick with the original special permit application. He said he was just kind of covering all the bases in case the site, just basically to get Eric to have the site plan approval covered. But he did say it was completely up to the board. He did also say that the Projerskis informed him that the pole barn was only going to be used for his own personal storage.
And you've definitely told us that before.
Yep, I went down with them.
Yeah.
I mean, for now, you got a lot of work to do to prep the site for the big building. But
I think he just wants to get that big building ordered before it costs him 3 times
Right.
as
It's
much.
about $70,000.
I'm sure it has,
That was terrifying to get.
But,
I'm sure.
you know, to vote on it tonight and have one member not vote in favor of it, then that's not right. You know, we'd rather get the building inspector's final word for it, and next month we'll have five people here with an alternate on the board, then you'll be all set.
You gentlemen comfortable with that?
Don't have a choice.
Is there a way that we can let them get going on the first building?
Don't have a choice. No, it's, if it gets boiled down anyway, 2 years, then.
No.
I mean, we got this notice. We'd rather be fair to you and not vote on it tonight.
It's a better option. Yeah.
So I have a few questions. The main building, the welding portion, you still have an open air
Yes, it's on the far,
on the backside?
yeah.
In my extent, you still have that open air?
Yes.
It's open toward the police station.
Right, but it's not closing, adding that 25, you didn't close it in.
No.
And the police station is on that side, not the softball field, baseball field, that's on.
No, it's directly behind.
Yeah, it's
The giant police station.
further this way.
Earth and burn,
Yeah.
the shrubs on it.
Like that pole barn will be right behind Vaughn.
Yes,
You won't see that because there's
the slope is back here.
Yeah, you guys like,
the
yeah,
elevation of that, I mean, right now, it's high. We're digging that elevation down, so that's actually the lower point of the site. That'll be way below.
well, and on the Vaughn side too, it comes way up, because we're always like trying to balance our chairs on the.
Yeah, that's actually, that slope you're talking was actually in my backyard.
Yeah.
Where the sign is or whatever.
Yep.
This will be like way below that.
Yeah.
So it's,
So the welding, I really don't have any concerns, I think you've been thoughtful of neighbors.
I mean, you've been more than patient, you know, to try to get this job done.
I think as far as someone concerned with outside welding and grinding and all that, I think we put conditions of hours. Other than that, I don't think there's
I
any.
mean, you wouldn't to the extent of moving it in the backside, so nobody would.
yeah, we're trying to,
You're trying to be a good neighbor like you did with the other guy, and you know, we're thankful for that. And if you wait another, you know, until next month, April, and it's not that far away, and while you're doing the perk test and getting the site ready, and it's in your best interest to wait,
yeah, I understand.
in my opinion. I don't know about the members of the other members.
I think you should wait, but like I said, I have no problems with the welding aspect or any of that. The pole barn, though, it's 4 times the size of what's allowed. In the first meeting we had, you said you were gonna store some of your business supplies over there.
We were just trying to cover ourselves with that. I don't want the one time that, you know, it's raining or something like that, and I put something in there. I don't want it to be a, you know,
But
oh, that was illegal, you know,
4 times what's allowed, 4 times the size.
for a bond.
Yeah.
But it's also, you know, the other categorization of the barn is, under 25% of lot coverage. And it's only like 2.8%.
You know, a lot of people that come in front of us for garage and stuff, they're looking, you know, a little over 1,000, 1,200, 1,400 square feet, you're looking 36.
No, it's 2,000.
It's
2,000.
But with the,
The lean-tos on either side, there's 1,500 square feet of open space on either side.
so you're at 3,500 square feet.
If you consider the lean-tos.
The reason why I wanted the lean-tos is just, I want to buy a camper. And I watch all my friends try to cover the things, it's just a complete hassle.
Do you have any elevation drawings of it?
Of the barn?
Yeah.
I don't.
Can you supply some by next meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, just give us some elevation on what,
I guess try to,
On the pole barn itself,
of that.
not on
that's probably, yeah, you can do both if you want.
elevations for this building.
Yeah, we got a 300 back on that one. I only one step now.
I just wish there was a way that we could allow him to order stuff. I feel so bad. You know, where they, you know, your business is terrible.
This thing came
On the pole barn.
on us all of a sudden, we never did it.
No, I know,
Our hands are tied. You gotta ask the builders what's going on.
No.
but it's also not fair to them that
I thought that
people aren't
was some
showing up.
bylaws.
No, on
And you only
the,
got
where I thought the commercial was
Yeah.
on
We
the
don't want-
residential side,
Believe me, we
it's
don't
12 feet less.
want to discourage business in the town.
That was the residential, that's, I did, we didn't
It's
know.
only differentiated, but I could be wrong.
We actually had a discussion with the building inspector, because, he asked, and I told him that I planned on putting the same size doors on both, and we'd be buying all the same things to make it the same. And he said, absolutely not. He said,
Do you recall
the,
the side, garage doors in commercial can be higher than 12?
that's what he said, yes, but on the residential, he said no.
I always thought it was 12 feet was the highest.
On commercial, it can be higher because if you're bringing in trucks. I mean, some of these, some of the equipment is like 11, 10 feet high, you know? But we can look into that. I mean,
Yeah, I think that's pretty standard in every.
yeah, I mean, on a regular garage, it's only 8 feet.
Yeah, you go up to 12.
Yeah, up to 12. Yeah.
The commercial vehicles can be as legally high as 13.6.
Dave, do you have any questions or comments for them?
No,
All right, then we can,
I'll make a motion to continue petition 960 to our April meeting. Alana, what day is that?
April 11th.
April 11th. Do we have time, Alana?
So, Eric, you would need to apply by Monday, the 21st by 11 a.m. so that I can get the advertisement into the paper.
We can do that, not a problem.
Okay, perfect.
second,
Second,
Do we have a time, Alana?
put them right up front.
Good time for what?
The time for the next meeting schedule or?
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. As long as Eric applies, has the application in to the clerk by Monday before 11 a.m., that'll be fine for the April 11th meeting.
Right, do you have time for the April 11th meeting for them now?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so 7 p.m. is fine.
Okay.
Right, level 11.
we have a motion, we have a second. Dan? To continue?
yes.
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 Myself, yes.
Okay.
We'll see you next month.
Thank you for your time, we appreciate
Thank
it.
you. And feel free to be in touch with Alana. She sends us emails. If there's any questions you guys have to make sure that we're not continue.
Okay, great.
Like she's great at emailing us. So any questions you have between now and then.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Anybody read the minutes for February 14th?
Bob did.
Well, I said.
Yeah.
Any deletion, corrections, or anything?
I didn't see it. Yeah?
Hello, Dan?
Oh, you woke me up. Sorry. Yeah, I read it. I'm all set.
All set? Motion?
Motion to approve. Yeah, sure.
Second.
The meetings of February 14th, 2022, second.
Tina?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Myself, yes. For other business, we have the 40B cross-country permit for Country Club Estate petition 920. Hearing to continue to April 6th, 2022 at 7 p.m. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
So, on the 40B, Alana, do you think we're going forward, we're going to continue again?
I'm sorry, say that again, Bob?
40B, the Country Club Estates, do you think they're going to be continuing it, or are we going to be hearing it? Do you know?
I don't know. I haven't received anything. They usually send me an email if they want to continue it.
So if we are going to have a meeting, I think in some of the previous discussions about it, we've had other boards and people that helped us out quite a bit. I'd like to invite people that any of us can think that would help us. I think Alan Diaz was a great help, so maybe if we can reach out to him and invite him to the next meeting.
Sure.
And if anybody else says anybody
We can invite a lot of people to.
else that wants to come. help.
Yeah.
You can use it.
Can we continue till next meeting?
Well, I think it's just, it's,
Yeah, I think it's just, it is what it
Yeah,
is,
just
continue so
information.
far.
Information. All right. Zoning bylaw review committee, there's nobody here for it?
I am on
Oh,
it.
you
We're
on it?
still waiting to hear back from the attorneys to go over we did a couple pages on it and the attorneys were reviewing it. We haven't
I
had
hope
another
you're
meeting.
gonna fix the accessory building now.
Oh my God, definitely need to.
So we gotta fix some other stuff,
Gotta fix a lot of stuff.
a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of redundant stuff that says nothing. So there's not really any update on that.
No. Next scheduled meeting is April 11, 2022. Any adjournment?
Any other business?
Any other business? I got no other business.
I saw the site plans for the two things that Alana had sent us. I have no comments on them. Look
Yeah,
fine.
for the solar panels,
For the solar panels and for the CBD,
CBDO.
yeah, that shop.
So there's a smoke shop next to Dunkin' Donuts. That's not.
No, that's not it. That's just a smoke shop.
Yeah, just cigars and
The other one's
beer.
over by where Alana's at.
Where
Raymond Festival.
the bag is, right?
Yep.
You guys have those site plans on the table in front of Kazaya, in case you wanted to look at them.
You have the site plan.
Yeah, we have the site plan. I saw it tonight. Do you guys want to see it?
No, I looked at it when she had sent over the email.
I mean,
Nothing stood out to me as a problem.
No comments.
Yeah,
motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
let's do it. Darren, second?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
So, yes. Good night, everybody.
Night.
All right. Yeah.
Good night. Thank you.